Happening right now on Sports Extra. Happy Selection Sunday, everybody. We've got you completely covered from Georgia and Georgia Tech as those teams get ready for the big dance. Plus, our first thoughts on who might make the Final Four and the new league year in the NFL. It is off to a very busy start, as we all know, so we're going to break down all the big moves that the Falcons have made so far. Plus, we've got to talk about the Braves as we're getting closer to opening day.
Georgia's dancing. It's a great day. Got hoops ahead of us.
It's not only about making the tournament. You want to go make some noise in the tournament, and we're ready to do that.
We're excited, for what the future holds for this team and organization. And, I've been here for a long time, and I want to continue to be here for a long time.
All right, we've got our dancing shoes on. At least I do. I don't know about my guests. We're going to check when we go to the desk. Sports Extra starts right now. Hey guys, welcome into Sports Extra and welcome to one of the best Sundays of the entire year. We have so much to talk about on this Selection Sunday. We got a bunch of teams dancing. Let's get right into it and let me direct your attention to this. The Georgia men are dancing for the first time in a decade. Look at the scene in Athens. They are the 9 seed in the Midwest region of the NCAA tournament bracket. And the Georgia Tech women are dancing for the first time in 3 years. Nell has those ladies rolling. They are the 9 seed. An exciting day for both of those programs looking to make some noise this March.
We got a chance to continue the season and represent Georgia in the NCAA tournament. It's the greatest sporting event that exists. So we're fired up. If you can't tell, we're fired up and we're ready to get to work.
Look, it's an exciting time for us. This is a goal that we've had all year long, and starting from last year. We want to get to that NCAA tournament, and super proud and happy for these players because they worked hard for this.
And if we could get some of those shirts that Nell Fortner is wearing, that'd be fantastic. My guests are here to break down everything March Madness and beyond. We have Gabe from the AJC. How was Florida? How was life?
It's been great. 2 weeks in the sun down there in Florida, watch a little baseball, you come back feeling completely renewed.
It'll do wonders for you. I wish we could have joined you. We also have my good friend, my podcast co-host, and all things everything Atlanta, Jarvis Davis. Jarvis, how's it going?
It's good to be from Atlanta and be in Atlanta on tonight. It's great.
I love that.
Yes.
What a great feeling. And what a great feeling to have multiple teams dancing in the NCAA tournament. I love this time of year. We all have, except for Gabe, our brackets in front of us, and I'm sure you're going to be throwing it away after the first day. We hope we're not. And we do hope that Georgia is going to have an excellent run in the NCAA tournament. Gabe, they are one of 14 SEC teams. New NCAA record, by the way. All those teams going dancing in March. What about Georgia makes you feel like they could actually make some noise? They're doing this for the first time in 10 years.
They're sure battle tested. You mentioned this conference. You look at the teams that they've played, and they've had some real quality wins too. You beat this Florida team that a lot of people think is going to wind up winning it.
Yeah.
You beat Kentucky. The way that they closed the regular season there, those 4 wins. I like this team. I think that this could be a tough draw. But honestly, in the bigger picture, I think that the amount of progress that they've made and where this program is trending, and to be in this spot, to be where they are, considering the schedule, considering the conference, this is a massive leap forward.
You brought up where this program has gone. Mike White has done an unbelievable job of turning this program into something that, people like Asa Newell want to go to, Jarvis. What is it about the job that Mike White has done to get the Bulldogs in this position and to make them be successful here at this time of the year?
The big thing for the Georgia Bulldogs is that they needed stability in this head coaching spot. I know that Mike White wasn't all that sexy of a hire, and I didn't think it was a sexy of a hire, when they initially brought him in. But what you need in this Georgia program is stability, and I think that Mike White brings that to the table, and that's all you want, because at the end of the day, what Kirby Smart has done on the football side of things, it's going to be that's a draw too. That's a draw, but people want to be a part of something, part of a winning program, and for Mike White to come in and stabilize his program like he's doing, I feel like he's going to be one of those guys to say, hey, I can get these big big recruits in here, like a guy like Asa Newell, and be my leading scorer on my team. Those are the type of things that you need for Georgia in order to be able to stabilize this program and get to where they want to be.
Perhaps Mike White wasn't really all that attractive of a name when he was hired at Georgia, but he is now. He's being now thrown around to several different openings in college basketball. The more you win, the more you have good players and NBA caliber players play your program, the more your name's going to get thrown out there. That's the reality of the situation. The reality is, too, I don't love where they were picked in this bracket, Gabe. Their bracket, it's kind of a tough draw. You look past this opening game and you think, how the heck are the Dogs going to get out of this? What do you think about where they are in the bracket?
I think it is a tough draw, and Gonzaga's Gonzaga. I mean, there's a reason that they're always here. I know they get clowned sometimes about how their seasons end, but again, this is as when we talk about basketball programs, Gonzaga is one of the first places that you're always going to think about, right?
No doubt.
And this Houston team it's awesome. So but again, I think one win would be it would be a monumental accomplishment for Georgia's program to even win. So we'll see where it goes. They're certainly capable. You never know, but again, like even one win would be quite the achievement.
I have some beef with Gonzaga because for years I was picking them to go to the Final Four and win the NCAA tournament, and they constantly disappoint me. So I'm hoping once again they disappoint me, and the Georgia Bulldogs can be the victorious Bulldogs in this scenario. Let's talk about our early Final Four predictions. Very early, we just looked at the bracket like everybody else. Jarvis, go ahead and dish out your 4.
I got Louisville.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry, Louisville. How the local said. Florida, Duke, and Tennessee. So 3 out of the 4 teams in the Final Four going to the Final Four. I love it. From the SEC, baby. It's going down.
Well, you're talking about the SEC. I think Gabe maybe took a peek at your bracket. He is 11 on the Southeastern Conference on this Sunday. Tell us about your Final Four.
I'm a proud SEC homer. See, I don't even have anything in front of me.
Because he's just going to pick all SEC teams.
We got Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, and Bama. So we got 2 1s and 2 2s. It's the year of the SEC. I mean, is this really that crazy? I mean, is it going to happen? Probably not. But it's not crazy, and that's a testament to where all of these programs are in the SEC basketball. And I think Florida's going to win it.
I'm such an SEC homer, but this was insane to pick all SEC teams. Whatever, you know what? Do whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of the show. I have 2 SEC teams and 2 ACC teams, which I hate my Final Four. Let me just say that because I have Auburn, which I do not think they're really going to be in the Final Four, but I have a lot of love for them. I know. I covered their only Final Four run, and so I'm praying for this to happen, right? Even though, Ole Miss, I could have gone super homer and gone there. Florida, I think they're going to win the whole tournament. They're such a good basketball team. Duke, I know a lot of people don't really trust them because the Cooper flag thing, but they've proven that they can win without Cooper. And then Clemson's just kind of my dark horse, mostly because it's not going to be all 1 seeds in the Final Four. We all understand that it never happens this way in March Madness. And Clemson's a very good basketball team, despite getting locked out of their locker room and almost beating Louisville at that. I think Clemson could maybe sneak in there. We'll see. I don't know. I was just kind of picking in the dark because I wanted to do something different than the SEC homers over here. Let's talk about an ACC team on the women's side. Georgia Tech, what a fun basketball team. They're going dancing for the first time since 2022. Gabe, let's start with you. What do you like about this Yellow Jackets team? They're young, they're feisty, and Coach Nell has these ladies believing they can do anything.
You said it. There's a scrappiness to this team, and there's like an underdog. I mean this as a compliment. There's this kind of underdog vibe with, even though, look, it's similar to what we talked about with Georgia too. Like, this team obviously got off to an incredible start. It leveled out, and we saw, you give NC State a fight there. It's, again, also like Georgia, tough draw. Yeah, but this year we're gonna look at it. We're gonna go. This was a step forward after these last couple of years.
Another 8-9 matchup, because we were talking about Georgia. Georgia Tech, they have 8-seed Richmond on Friday in one of your favorite cities ever, in Los Angeles. So that will be a very fun matchup. Should Georgia Tech get past that, I think it does get very difficult for those ladies. Let's talk about Nell Fortner. You are our coach analysis guy today. Apparently, I'm asking you a lot about the coaches.
Sure.
Nell Fortner, she signs this 3-year contract extension this year. She is the winningest coach in Georgia Tech women's basketball history. She's done so many great things. What is it about Nell and this program to get her to continuously be on this path of greatness at Tech?
The one thing about when you have a coach that's been around for so long, like Nell Fortner understands that they each one teach one thing, because when you bring in a group especially in today's game where there's so many freshmen coming in and coming in and playing right away, she was able to keep her upperclassmen around and say, hey, we want to stick around and come back and be able to do something. And then she mixed those two together. You have to be able to establish that rapport and clearly define what those players' roles are going to be if they're going to stick around. And with those freshmen coming in too, because they have all the zeal that they can possibly bring to practices and everything like that. And they want to be able to come in and compete. So for her to be able to have that good mixture, it takes a veteran coach that understands the type of culture that they want to have going forward. And that's why she got that extension. That's why they're going dancing. That's why Georgia Tech will be one of those teams that you're talking about at the end of the year.
If they can tap into that 15-0 start to the year,
Absolutely.
I know they've had injuries, they've been very hurt throughout the year, but if they can tap into the beginning in March, they can be dangerous. Mark my words. All right, coming up, Kirk Cousins, he's still a Falcon. We tried to warn you this might happen. Grady Jarrett, we also tried to warn you, he is not. All of the early days of the new league year for the NFL, we will break all of it down for you. Let's talk about it next. So it turns out Terry Fontenot and the Falcons, they were not bluffing at all. We did try to warn everyone that this was possible, that Kirk Cousins could still be on the Falcons roster past Saturday, which now means that $10 million bonus is now going to be guaranteed in 2026. There is a reason for this, I think, and the Falcons, they fully believe in this scenario and letting it play out with Kirk Cousins. Jarvis, what do you think this means in the whole process of keeping Kirk around? What does it look like?
First of all, let me say this. Kirk Cousins knew what time it was. He knew they were serious because he went to the principal's office and tried to tell on Terry Fontenot to Arthur Blank by meeting with him and saying, hey, I want to be a starter on this team. No, man, you have to sit your behind right there behind this quarterback until somebody comes with an offer that makes sense for us. Because the reoccurring theme, you can go there and count it, take a shot for it every time you heard it during the NFL Combine with Terry Fontenot. All he was saying, we're going to do what's best for the Atlanta Falcons. Yeah. And guess what? Raheem Morris was singing the same song. He was singing it too. We're going to do what's best for the Atlanta Falcons. What's best for the Atlanta Falcons is try to get some type of compensation for Kirk. So Kirk understands the situation that he's in. He no longer has any leverage, I feel, in this particular situation. So he's going to have to play ball if he wants to compete for a starting position in 2025.
Jarvis is tapping into something interesting here, Gabe, because there is a scenario in this scenario that the Falcons are going to benefit from this, right? A lot of people think that's not true, but I do believe now, as Jarvis was saying, the Falcons kind of hold the cards. What do you think the benefit is for the Falcons in this scenario?
Well, you have options because there's not a sizable financial benefit, right, to moving off of Kirk where you're at. So you look at this and you go, well, what if something happens in August? What if a guy goes down on another team and all of a sudden Kirk is a lot better than whatever is sitting in free agency? Yep. I think we all know the Browns have wanted him. I don't know if that's ultimately going to lead to a trade. Who knows? But your options, you just have more options as you hang on to him. And frankly, Kirk at his age too, I understand where he's coming from, wanting the opportunity to say he only has so many years left.
Sure. Right.
But man, they're paying you a lot of money. I know it's an unfortunate situation as far as playing goes, but there's a reason that he's getting paid this, and he just kind of has to deal with it and be a professional until something changes. And
he will. He certainly will. We all know that Kirk would never do anything but be professional in this scenario. However, how many times do we say there are quarterback needy teams at some point in the year? It's going to happen, and Kirk could be available so long as the Falcons get something in return. It's smart because they gave up so much money and that aspect didn't work out, so now they need something else to work out in their favor. Unfortunately, someone that we've seen here for 10 years now is no longer in a Falcons uniform. Grady Jarrett, he is a staple not only with the team, but in the city. It's so unfortunate he had to go, but man, are the Falcons going to save a lot of money against the cap for this move. He's going to the Chicago Bears. Jarvis, what does this mean, Grady's departure, and how the heck are they going to fill it?
It's just going to be weird. We talked about this on the Atlanta Football Party on our podcast. It's just so weird not seeing 97 standing up at the podium once training camp opens up and kind of giving his answering questions, being as cordial and nice to the media. As you can see here, being two-time Walter Payton Man of the Year. He's just an all-around solid dude. And for him to be able to be drafted in the 5th round in 2015 and accomplished and made over $100 million, you know, with the Atlanta Falcons, for him not to be in that Falcons uniform and going into year 11, it kind of put things in perspective to say, hey, this is the NFL and this type of stuff happens every day.
It's a business for sure. We're sad to see him go, and we're wishing him the best of luck in Chicago. He's got a teammate headed to Chicago with him as well. Drew Dahlman, now going to be the 2nd highest paid center in the NFL. This leaves a pretty big hole, in my opinion, Gabe, because continuity at the center position, you would love to have your offensive line stay consistent with a new quarterback, albeit Michael Penix played a couple games, but still, he, in my eyes, is pretty much a rookie in the NFL. What does it mean now that Dahlman is departing?
Well, look, good for him.
That's
and the Bears are really retooling that O-line with Ben Johnson there now. Look, I mean, you're going to talk about the in-house options, but this is a great opportunity to invest in that position in the draft and have a guy that's going to be with Penix moving forward, right? I know a lot of people are going to bring up Jared Wilson, right? That's going to be the name that's going to come up the most. But there's some good centers in this draft. I think this draft is really strong in the trenches on both sides, and that's going to fit the Falcons well.
I said it on the podcast as well. One of the Falcons coaches that was there at Pro Day in Georgia actually told me they loved Jared Wilson's Pro Day in Athens. Not to blow smoke or say that's going to happen, but they did think he was a very intriguing option, and he is. He's going to be a great pick for whoever picks him for sure. Let's wrap with our thoughts on the pass rush. It is slowly getting addressed, Jarvis. It's not something that'll happen overnight. True. Falcons need a lot of retooling to inevitably make this better because it's really bad. So you add Leonard Floyd and then Morgan Fox, also an experienced defender who's coming to Atlanta. Those two are just the starting piece for this, right? What do you like about them, and how much further do they need to add in order to really bolster this side of the defense?
I like them because they're bodies. I think about a cylinder of Pringles. You know how they're thin and you got to stack them up to get to the top.
Right.
I feel like Leonard Floyd and Morgan Fox are guys that you can kind of stack to kind of get to where you need to be. And where they need to be is drafting one at that 15, right? And I won't be, to be honest with y'all, I am so in for them doubling down even more with another young guy in the 2nd round, because I feel that is solidifying that pass rush, right? You got the veteran mix with the, like I talked about earlier, mix with the youngins.
Yeah.
And if you have some young guys that can come in and have an immediate impact, and you have those veterans continue to contribute what they've been doing since they've been in the NFL, you got a nice mixture. You got a nice mix for Jeff Ulbrich to kind of have some fun with, play around with, be a little creative on defense. So those are some of the things that I feel is going to help this team get to where they need to be, and you can kind of supplement that pass rush for guys on the corners or the secondary. And they solidified that with bringing Mike Hughes back. Like, go with the devil you know. It's a little bit cheaper, always, in the long run. So I feel like they're in a good space right now as far as setting up for the draft.
Yeah, and also they add Diablo too. They're trying to shore up some pieces. The linebacker core is constantly injured for the Falcons, as we know. They're going to add a lot more pieces in the draft. It's just, how many more? Hopefully more than 5, because they only have 5 picks right now. All right, now to the Players' Championship in Ponte Vedra, where weather delays kept pushing further and further into the afternoon. Rory McIlroy was the leader heading into the final round there on 17. He sinks that one for par. Then J.J. Spaun was just nipping on his heels all afternoon. A birdie from him on 16 for a share of the lead. It got interesting. JJ there, an opportunity on 18 to sink a long-distance birdie putt for the win. It is just short. So that means we play on Monday. They're going to play a 3-hole playoff starting at 9 a.m. at TPC Sawgrass. Coming up, we're getting closer and closer to opening day, and the Braves, they had another scare this week. Can we knock it off? You guys need to stay healthy. We also have the long-awaited return of Spencer Strider. Let's break all that down next. All right, guys, finally we get to see Spencer Strider in action. First time since April of 2024. That is nuts to me, Gabe, but this is the guy everybody wants to see. When he pitches on Monday, what do you want to see from Spencer?
You just want to see him look healthy. You want to see the velocity up. This is for him. It's just going to be going back through his routine, going through up downs, and they're expecting him back sometime next month, and that's going to be huge. You're going to get hopefully almost a full season out of him.
Yeah, and I really think that everyone is most looking forward to just seeing him out there. It doesn't really matter what he does, even though we are getting closer to opening day. They avoid another injury scare. We talked about this being the mantra for this year, keeping the Braves healthy, because they did not do that last year. Unfortunately, they're not off to a good start. start, right? Austin Riley gets hit on the hand with a 94-mile-per-hour fastball on Friday. Jarvis, luckily, all scans were good. He's good to go. He said he dodged a bullet. He felt really good, so he got back out there in the lineup over the weekend. What would happen if Austin is not a part of this lineup? We saw him get hurt last year.
That would stink.
It would be bad.
That would be very bad. Because I don't want to see balls getting hit, hitting Austin Riley's hand, because it kind of be like deja vu like last season, right? We saw that happen, and we saw him be out for a little while. But yeah, I'm glad that all is well, and somebody needs to start living right in the Braves organization, because this is ridiculous. I'm sorry.
I know. Light some candles, do a prayer circle, whatever you guys got to do. Really quickly, I've got like 20 seconds. What do you think the Braves are going to look like come opening day?
I think this is going to be another really strong team, and it's going to get stronger when you get Spencer back, when you get Acuna back, and they're in what I think is the best division in baseball, so we'll see, but they're going to have as good a shot as they've had.
As long as they stay healthy. Remember those prayer circles. All right, guys, coming up after the break, we're going to wrap things up with Maria's Minute, where this week I'm going to give some kudos and praise to a college coach for his reaction to some student journalists who were on the road. That's next. For Maria's Minute this week, let's discuss something that we probably don't enough: the hard work and dedication from student journalists. And it all started with Texas women's basketball coach Vic Schaefer. Take a listen.
Are y'all my three that drove 16 hours?
Yes, sir.
I want y'all to know, when it comes time to get a job, you put me on your resume. That's really unique. And I'm proud that you guys are here, and I'm proud that you take enough pride in your job that you would do that.
Gosh, what Coach Schaefer did, that was beyond incredible. I know that at times as a student journalist, you can feel invisible, but I promise you, no matter how long it may take, hard work never goes unnoticed. Breaking into the sports industry, that can feel like an Olympic event, but it is coaches like Coach Schaefer that understand the grind and what it means to pay it forward. I can't tell you how many times a coach has said, "You are always covering our team. I see you. I thank you." That turns into exclusive interviews and relationships, and heck, even phone calls for jobs. I hope those of you that are struggling to understand, is this all worth it? Is what I'm doing worth it? Know that it is. People are paying attention more than you think. I want to thank all the student reporters going the extra mile. I see you guys hustling around Atlanta, shooting the extra stand-up, writing the extra article. You're going to be better for it, and I hope you get the job you want because of it. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching each and every Sunday. Remember, we have a very busy week of college basketball on Tuesday. Tech men, they are in the NIT. We'll be covering that. They are hosting here in Atlanta. Also, we have Georgia men on Thursday, and we have the Tech women playing on Friday. Busy week of Hoops. March Madness has arrived. Have a wonderful week, everybody. We will see you, as always, next Sunday.